Well, you know this guy who's sitting down right next to me. Mr. Ted Nugent is with us. How you doing, Ted?
I can hear you now. Greetings, Cam. Happy NRA, everybody.
Yes. Oh, where did all these people come from? They just
These
sort
are
of
my
follow
blood
you.
brothers. Yes, these people smell the freedom coming out of my vapor trail. Yes, indeed.
How you doing this morning?
I'm doing so good at stupid.
Yeah?
I just spent a whole bunch of time over there at the new Ted Nugent ammo booth. What a nice ring that has to it, huh?
Yeah.
I am a ballistically coefficient guitar player. And just met wonderful, wonderful Americans, man. There's a very powerful energy in the room. I'm proud to be a part of it, and you're doing a fine job representing to the people who aren't blessed to be here.
Well, yeah, unfortunately. I mean, you know, and you've been coming to these annual meetings, I don't
20 years probably, plus, yeah.
Yeah, this is, I got to tell you.
Looks like a big crowd. Let's hear it for the NRA and everybody who's here to show their patriotism and their demand and dedication and addiction to freedom.
That's right. And you know, again, I mean, there's so much to see around here. All of the new products, the Ted Nugent ammunition.
Yeah, and I feel terrible because I can't stop at every booth. I have a shooting friend. I have a blood brother at every exhibit, every booth, and I could just camp out at every place, but I just don't have time. So I'll have to go home and fondle my own hardware.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, there I go. Yes,
and that'll take you a couple of months,
lifetime,
right?
Yes,
yeah, exactly. So, but you know, beyond what's here. And you and I have been talking on Monday nights in the build-up to the annual meeting about how important it is that NRA members are active, that we vote, that we care about this election because of really what is at stake.
Well, activism, and again, I'm going to be redundant because it hasn't quite struck home to the level it needs to strike home. And that's why everybody that listens to our show on Monday and listens to me when I do radio interviews and reads my columns and just pays attention to the frontline activists. The NRA is the frontline activist organization for freedom. What you see here, look at this pretty little girl sitting right here. Oh, hey, love you.
You know Miss Frassy, don't you? You remember her from last year.
Absolutely. But we got people from every walk of life here. These people are NRA members because they know that we left the slave lands of tyranny and we came to a new land, and our founding fathers wrote down self-evident truths. But each and every person in here, I hope they grasp that their current membership and their activism is only good. And if you were a good bass player, you couldn't be in my band. Because where I come from, good sucks. You got to be one stone-cold, hell-raising, bad mofo to hang out with Uncle Ted. And in order to be one stone-cold, hell-raising, bad mofo, each and every one of you, if you can't get a couple of hundred people each of you, some of you, I bet you can get a couple thousand. Your goal should be able to get a couple of thousand people per person who's here to vote for Mitt Romney in November. Because if you don't galvanize people who really understand and experiment in self-government and understand the U.S. Constitution, there are flag-draped coffins coming home right now of heroes of the military who took a vow, a pledge, to defend and uphold the U.S. Constitution. If that dead Marine isn't worth it to you to demand that the enemies in the White House are ousted, then you probably ought to just move to France. It's that serious. If you don't know that our government is wiping its ass with the Constitution, you're living under a rock someplace. And that there's a dead soldier, an airman, a Marine, a seaman, a hero of the military that just got his legs blown off for the U.S. Constitution. And we got a president and attorney general who doesn't even like the Constitution. We got 4 Supreme Court justices who don't believe in the Constitution. Does everybody know here that 4 of the Supreme Court justices not only determined you don't have the right to keep and bear arms, 4 Supreme Court justices signed their name to a declaration that Americans have no fundamental right to self-defense? That sounds like a stoned hippie. That doesn't sound like a Supreme Court anything. It sounds like a supremely intellectually vacuous punk. To think that a human could think that humans don't have a basic right to self-defense is so bizarre to me as to my brain can't accept the information. And if you want more of those kinds of evil, anti-American people in the Supreme Court, then don't get involved and let Obama take office again. Because I'll tell you this right now, if Barack Obama becomes the president in November again, I will either be dead or in jail by this time next year. Why are you laughing? You think that's funny? That's not funny at all. I'm serious as a heart attack. So, being at the NRA event, God bless you, good indicator. But if you can't go home and get everybody in your lives to clean house in this vile, evil, America-hating administration, I don't even know what you're made out of. And if you're taking offense at that, tough. I see warriors amongst us. I see people who get it. You made a lot of sacrifice to be here at NRA. It's a long trip for a lot of you. You're giving up valuable time to make a statement for freedom. If you can't galvanize and promote and recruit people to vote for Mitt Romney, we're done. We'll be a suburb of Indonesia next year. Our president and attorney general, our vice president, Hillary Clinton, they're criminals. They're criminals. A guy on the radio the other day said, well, name the crimes. About 10 minutes later, I said, have you had enough? I mean, who doesn't know the crimes our government is committing? So God bless you for being here. I feel a positive energy, but turn up the heat. Take this energy and this belief in freedom home with you and get everybody you know to get involved and engaged, because it isn't the enemy that ruined America. It's good people who bent over and let the enemy in. If the coyote's in your living room pissing on your couch, it's not the coyote's fault. It's your fault for not shooting him. So it's an important time. So you're talking about exhibits, you're talking about hardware and ammo, and everybody's fondling sporting goods, and everybody's got a big old sexy grin on their face because they're surrounded by ballistic celebration. That's cool, but what I feel in this room is I feel this. I feel this. I'm not taking this crap anymore. I've about had it. Leave my damn paycheck alone. Unless you can be accountable, you get nothing. And if you take that adamant, we the people defiance, remember, we're Americans because we defied the king. We didn't negotiate and compromise with the king. We defied the emperors. We are patriots. We are Braveheart. We need to ride into that battlefield and chop their heads off in November. Any questions?
Actually, you know what? I bet we do have some questions. And Cameron Gray is in the audience somewhere. Hey, Cameron, how are you?
Hi, Cam. All right, anybody got a question? Because I got a damn answer. The thing is, there's not really many questions because it's like so obvious what has to be done. But go ahead, sir. I think I can hear. Can I turn me up a little bit?
I think so.
Somebody turn me up. I like me loud. Yes, sir.
Give us some thoughts on Fast and Furious.
Well, all right, Fast and Furious. I won't give you thoughts. I'll give you conclusions. I don't have any thoughts on Fast and Furious other than that it sucks and Eric Holder should be in prison. But I'll give you some facts on Fast and Furious. Who's law enforcement in here? Who's military in here? How do we live with the proven fact that the number one law enforcement official in the United States of America is stone cold guilty of illegally running guns to the Mexican drug gangs? You look like smart people. Name me something more outrageous than that. There's nothing more outrageous. And God bless the senators and the congressmen that are turning up the heat, but I want to see convictions. Our president, Eric Holder, I believe all through the administration, and the certain soulless punks in the ATF, if to orchestrate that criminality. And again, ATF guys that are pissed off, shut up. If you're not guilty, don't be guilty. If you're pissed off at that statement, that would be guilt. And if you see this kind of tragic violation of the Constitution take place, blow your damn whistle. Like the 4 great agents of the ATF. Those are my heroes. And the guys that expose the criminality of our government, they're being punished instead of the perpetrators of the crime? What is this, Planet of the Apes? This is, the examples of violations against we the people right now, I've never in 63 years, even talking to the heroes of World War II, I've never seen anything like this in my life. It can't get worse than this. I have a 3-legged, crippled oryx on my property in Texas. He's not going to make it. He's about a week old. He's mine. I own him. He was born on my land. The federal government just passed a law that if I were to do the only right thing and put that oryx out of its misery, I'm a felon on my own land with my own private property. Because the federal government found a judge without a soul who sided with an animal rights terrorist who just decreed that private owners of oryx can't touch them, can't relocate them, can't shoot them, and can't put crippled animals out of its misery. I don't know what to do with this information.
Yeah.
This is so bizarre. It's as Nazi Germany as you get. When they come to put the Jews on the train, go to the man with the brown shirt, take away his Luger, shove it up his ass, empty the magazine, and stop putting Jews on the train. Any questions? That's where we're at. Michigan farmers are felons if they touch the wrong colored hog.
What?
There's a new invasive species order in Michigan that if your hog is the wrong color, the state gets to depopulate your livestock, and if you do, you're a felon. Oh, I could stand up here for 20 days and give you examples of what's going on, and your heart would bleed. It is so wrong what's going on in this country. So it's great to be here, buy lots of guns and ammo. By the way, a salute to everybody with all the guns and ammo. We are the most completely armed force of firepower in the history of humankind. I salute my fellow gun owners out there.
Absolutely.
Just keep buying guns and ammo. But be sure you're communicating with your friends. Sign up new members in the NRA. Let your senators and congressmen and governors know that you are absolutely heartbroken and offended at the violations of our own government regarding these various violations. And let's start raising some hell. Remember, it's not a cultural discussion. It's a cultural war. Our president is dismantling America on purpose.
Cameron Gray's out of the audience with another question for you, Ted.
Sir, by the way, that was just one answer to one question. But sir.
First off, I'd like to thank you for bringing to people's attention outside of the shooting community what can happen if you let the gun laws get away. I'm from Canada, so need I say more. My question is, I was really happy to see you all over CNN after the Halliburton debacle, and I was wondering why after that. I was hoping perhaps after seeing you all over and people getting a taste of what you were all about, maybe we're going to see a political campaign in the future?
Well, I'm conducting the most important political campaign in the world. See, my friend from Canada, which I love. Canadian people are wonderful people. I love your bears and your moose and your deer and your ducks and your grouse, especially the dumb ones that let you shoot them with slingshots. Those are my favorite animals in the world. I trained 2 weeks ago with the Canadian Secret Service. Okay, everybody got that? The Canadian Secret Service. Commando warriors protecting the government of Canada. They're not allowed to carry handguns. How do you explain this stuff? How do you explain this stuff? So, my political office is the most important political office in the world, my Canadian friend. We have a thing here called We the People. I am a commando in the We the People force to reckon with. There's not a senator, a congressman, or a governor, or a mayor, or a human being alive that doesn't know where Ted Nugent stands. I wallpaper and carpet bomb. In between hunting season and rock and roll season, in fact, throughout the year, I make sure that self-evident truths are celebrated and promoted. And whether I run for an official elected public office is something that the future holds potentially. But I'm born to raise hell. I spent a lot of time with the heroes of the military that have no legs and no skin and no eyes and no arms. Some of them came home in flag-draped coffins with some kind of human debris in a bag. And they volunteered to fight for the U.S. Constitution and freedom. Who amongst us could be so soulless as to fail to utilize that freedom to the best of our ability as provided at such cost? So when you raise hell, it's not for you. It's not even for your kids. It's for a Marine in a box. It's for a sailor in a wheelchair. It's for a seaman with no eyeballs. It's for families crying at a gravesite because they volunteered to fight for the Constitution. And it's all written down there. It's in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. And we need to become warriors on the streets of America because there are warriors of the military fighting in the hell zones of the world so that we can. So I would beg, beseech, implore, and shame, if necessary, anybody who's not carrying their own weight by raising hell in their own homes and fixing people. So we shall see. I'm a young 63, and I'm getting ready for the greatest tour of my life and the greatest hunting season of my life, and I hope the greatest election of my life in November. And I hope we send a message to the world that American citizens can still stand up for what's right and get the enemies out of our government because it's infested. Our government is infested. How about this? Our government in America is worse than Canadian government. And the Canadian government is going to be upgraded. You got some conservatives in the Canadian government. We just threw out C-68 in Canada. We finally fixed that insane, crazy, criminally intent gun law in Canada because the conservatives and the people spoke up long and hard enough and didn't give up. So I salute you for that. But I was right there with you. I was fighting all the time. And we need to do that in America. So we have our work cut out for us. And I know Eric Holder's boys are listening to me right now because they listen to everything I say. So I'd just like to say, hey, Eric, eat me.
All right, do we have any more questions for Ted? Yes, questions? What a silent crowd.
Well, because here's a guy right here. Just yell it out what you got.
Do you think any of our legislatures actually read the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act before they voted on it?
No, I don't believe any of our elected officials read the entire health care bill. Remember, because remember that funny creature that stood up and went, "You don't need to read this. You need to sign this. No, you don't need to read this. You need to." What is this? What is it? Where's Jane Goodall when the chimps get loose? I mean, what's Nancy Pelosi going to do next? Chew somebody's face and hands off? This woman is subhuman. Who does this woman represent? You don't need to read it. You need to sign it. How is she not in jail? It's. I got to tell you, I don't know what to do with this information without going to war. So I'm going to war by spreading the truth, and I'm going to war at the voting booth in November. And I'm going to fire the vote heard round the world. And I know you all. Let me make a brief statement here as a citizen. Not as a board member of the NRA, as a dad and a husband and your blood brother. I know Mitt Romney's made terrible mistakes in the past up there in the Massachusetts zone. Do we or do we not live to recruit anti-hunters to become NRA members? Is that what we live for? Do we not recruit people to become Christians? If we get a person to be a Christian, if we get a person to be a pro-Second Amendment person, would we still condemn them before they made the upgrade, or would we embrace them for their new vision? Mitt Romney is one of us now. He is a great man. He pledged to me no more gun laws, no more ammo restrictions, no more restrictions on our right to keep and bear arms. If we don't vote for Mitt Romney, Barack wins. And I know it's a hard pill to swallow because of what Mitt has done in the past. I had a long talk with him. And remember, I know what to say, and I know what to demand. And he vowed to me the things that you want from our president. He is going to help gut Fedzilla and get rid of the corruption and the abuse of power and the refusal to be accountable and the spending money that will never exist and to rewarding bloodsuckers instead of rewarding producers. If you haven't got a job, how can there be unemployment benefits? There's a benefit to being unemployed? Not in my band, there isn't. If you ain't my band, I ain't paying you. If you're my son and you ain't working, I ain't paying you. But if I'm not saying if you put into unemployment benefits, you can draw what is yours. But we got a bloodsucker nation right now that this president is buying their votes. So Mitt Romney is going to attack all these violations. I am convinced of it. And I know you didn't all have a personal conversation with him. I hope you listened to his speech yesterday. He meant every word of that. You may have recognized some of the bullet points he stated. He means it. There's only one boat that's leaving the dock with the medicine to cure America. I love Ron Paul. I love Newt Gingrich. I love Rick Perry. He would have been the best president of all. I love Rick Santorum. I really do. Great men. They would have all, Barbara Bachman, they would have all been, Michelle Bachman, they would have all been better than Barack Obama. But there's only one boat that's leaving the dock, bringing the medicine to fix America. The boat's name is Mitt Romney. If you don't vote Mitt Romney, you are, in fact, voting for Barack Obama. Know that. Spread that word. Hundreds. You need to get hundreds of people. You need to get hundreds. Hundreds of people. From now on, no more talking weather, no more talking next hunting season, no more talking nothing but the November elections. Get them to register, get them to vote. You come over here, young lady. She has a question. Yes, Frassy. Is it Frassy? I love it. Is Frassy sassy? What's your question?
What is Uncle Ted's favorite president?
What is my favorite president? Charlton Heston. My favorite president ever. Charlton Heston. Anybody agree with that?
I think we've got another question from. I'm sorry, sir, you're not quite as cute as Frassy, but please.
Good question, Frassy. Yes, sir. Okay, turn that mic on.
Yeah, sorry, we can't hear.
Slide that mic on. Engineer. How about now?
Can you hear me
now?
now?
I got you. Yeah, I love
good.
the switches.
A delight to speak to you.
Thank you.
I joined NRA years ago, realizing that I desperately want to keep this fight in the political arena. But do you realize the power that you have, that if you say the word, there will be very many of us behind you in a heartbeat?
Boy, do I. On all fronts. And let me give you a little insight here. Keep your eyes peeled, because I may need you soon. I'll leave it at that. Just keep your ears open. And I appreciate those words of confidence. I must have done something to earn that support. My dad raised me to do the right thing at all costs. I'm a human and I slip, but I do everything in my power and have been quite successful at not slipping again. I've dedicated my entire life, my career, my profession, and my reputation to fight for the most politically incorrect stuff in the world, hunting and gun rights. So thank you for that support, and I feel it from all of you. And when you meet me at these lines and we raise money for charities and I sign your guns and bows and stuff, thank you for your kind words. The Nugent family dearly appreciates and values your genuine and sincere support. And your vote as a board of director of the NRA as well. Thank you very much for that, sir. Stay tuned.
And Ted, we've only got a couple of minutes left here. I do want to let folks know what you're going to be doing here the rest of the week.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be doing a fundraiser for military and children's charities in just a moment, somewhere nearby. At 2 o'clock. At 2 o'clock at the Ferrara Theater. So I hope you all come by at the Ferrara Theater today. We're going to be signing copies of my books and whatever moves if you make a donation to the charities. And tomorrow on Sunday at 1 o'clock today, 1 o'clock on Sunday. 1 o'clock Sunday tomorrow at the Ferrera Theater too. I'll actually have a guitar and an amplifier if you want to rearrange your skeleton. And I'll be doing a speaking presentation, a question answer thing there too. So yeah, look for me or listen for a loud guitar, and that'll be me.
All right. Hey, listen, Ted, cannot thank you
Always.
enough, sir.
Always. Thank you.
All right.
Blood
Really
brother,
appreciate
Ted.
it.
Thank you, everybody.
Ted Nugent. I will see you May 18th in Northern Virginia when you're rocking out, by the way. I will be there.